Hey guys, my name is Wet. As you can see in the background gameplay, I went in the World Tier 4 Capstone dungeon around level 48, and the dungeon has level 70 enemies. There are so many enemies and objectives in this dungeon. By the time you get to the boss, you will most likely be around level 50. But you can tackle the dungeon even earlier than level 48. So today I'm going to show you how to get to World Tier 4 as quick as possible in Diablo 4. This will work with any class, so don't worry about the class I'm using in this video. It's not the first class I did the dungeon earlier with. However, if you plan to level up your Necromancer, you get extra bonus. Because I have the leveling build link that I use, it's on defaultbuilds.gg, just for your convenience. This method really works, and I learned this from the best. If you don't know who RAX is in the Diablo community, it's time you check his channel out. In my opinion, he's one of the best teachers when it comes to ARPG. So, you can learn a lot from his wisdom. That said, the first thing you need to focus on is to make sure your mana, essence, fury, whatever resource your class uses, make sure you focus on that, because without that, you can't efficiently use the skills on your hotbar. Next is to make sure you focus on damage, and you can get a lot of damage on your gears very early on. If you have these two things covered, which I'm going to show you how, then you are on your way for greatness. So let me show you how the process works. First, just make sure you do some hell ties until you reach between level 15 to 20. Then you should be ready to tackle the Capstone dungeon for World Tier 3. And the process I'm about to show you works the same for both World Tier 3 and World Tier 4. So let's get to it. So we are currently in Curvashot, so we're going to visit this guy, the blacksmith. And the first thing you're going to do is just go into the temper tab, and then we are going to temper 5 pieces of gear. And so I'm going to select the first one just to show you an example. So I'm going to show you my gear, what I have. As you can see, for my weapon, for my gloves, and the jewelries, you can see that I have damage on all 5 of them. I have some type of damage on all 5 of these gears. So let me show you how to do that. As we are already in tempering, so I'm going to use this as an example, this weapon right here. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to go to offensive. And then in the offensive, you want to go to natural fitness. As you can see here, you can have damage to crowd, damage to close, and damage to distance, but mostly you're looking for the flat damage, the first one. But you know, you can break an item in this game right now, so you'll get what you get until, you know, you're happy. And if you want, you can also, for instance, for the Necromancer, you can also try this one, because it is some type of damage since you are using minions. But most likely you will go for this one, especially in the beginning where you may not have all the recipes, so you can settle for this. So when I go here and I'm already on offense, as I'm going to temper, and again, like I said, we are looking for damage. If we don't have damage, we're going to keep tempering until we get damage. And here I got damage to crowd control. Maybe I don't want that. Again, we are looking for damage. So I'm going to go back again and then just trying to get damage. Anyway, I get damage to close, so for the purpose of the video, to try to make it as short as possible, I'm going to stick to this. But the main goal is I'm trying to get the flat percentage damage. But I'm going to stick with this for now because, you know, as an example for the video. So that's what you're trying to do. And you can do the same thing for the other pieces, like I was saying. So I'm going to go and show you again. I'm going to go. Now we're done with weapons, so I'm going to go with rings. And then for the rings, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to offensive. And then for offensive, same thing. I'm looking for damage. And then I'm going to go here and trying to temper. But since I already tempered this, now I got distance enemy. So that was my last one on this one. So I basically, just messed this one up, but it doesn't matter because I was just showing you just an example. I can get another piece because I'm already in World Tier 4. I'm going to use another piece anyway. Again, like I say, you can do this for both World Tier 4 and World Tier 3. So start with World Tier 3. You do the same thing for all those pieces to get damage on all of them. And then now the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to go and use the other 3 pieces. And then for these pieces I'm going to show you, it's going to be the helmet, the chest piece, and then the pants. So what you want to do for those, you're going to temper for maximum life. And as you can see, I temper for maximum life on this one. And as an example, and I don't have any of those gear there, but I already show you how to do this. And then once you do those for maximum damage, so what you got to do, like if I go here and you're looking for defensive, and then on the defensive, as you can see right here, you're going to have the option for either natural resistance or world endurance. So you're going to look for world endurance, and this is where you're going to get maximum life. So you get those 3 options. You are looking for maximum life. So if you get this on all 3 of those pieces that I showed you, then you are ready to be tanky as heck. So that's what you want to do for those 3 pieces. Now our last piece of gear we're going to go and temper is going to be the boots. So I'm going to show you an example for the boots. So for the boots, you should know what you should be looking for in the game. It's mobility. So I'm going to click on this one and you're going to go to mobility, and then you are looking for movement speed. So it's the top version, but you never know what you're going to get since it's RNG, but you are mainly looking for the movement speed. That's what you're looking for, but you can get any of the other one, but you'll get what you get, but look for movement speed. You can also go for your class movement. A lot of time you might have a better option doing this, even though the movement speed is lower, but it is a better choice when it comes to this, because either one of those 3 might work for you, instead of this one have more options where you might end up having evade. so you don't know what you're gonna get. But anyway, we stick to movement speed. So if I try this one right here, I'm gonna temper just for the purpose of this video. We don't know what we're gonna get. I'm gonna skip this, and then this is what we get. But you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So you are looking for movement speed on your boots. So now that you are done with all those pieces, the next thing you are going to do is to enchant your gear. So you go to the occultist, and then you're gonna go to the option for enchanting, and then you can go just trying to get, let's go, for instance, I go with the boots, for instance. What you're trying to do on the boots, you're trying to see all the stats that you have on the boots. Which one are the worst? Which one you're trying to get rid of? Now, if I look at this space as a Necromancer, what I'm trying to get rid of in this one is the life per second. You don't really want that. But maximum life is good and intelligence is good. So I would keep those. And so I'm going to just enchant for this one. So let's go. And I'm going to enchant for this one. And then you get what you get. Now you might get something worse, but you're going to keep enchanting until you get something that you want. But if you are going to do the capstone for World Tier 4, fire resistant might be a good idea because the boss has some fire on there. So you just might want to use this if you don't have enough fire resistance. But that's just another option. For in this one right here, I probably would keep fire resistance as an example, but you get what we're trying to do here. And then for all the other pieces, you're just going to do the same thing. Just go on each and every single one of them and see that which perks or stats that you are trying to get rid of. Just go through all of them. You can see there might be one that you don't want. As you can see, I already enchant this one and I got maximum life enchanting on this one, and also this one I got intelligence. So it is going to be a process of elimination to see which is the worst stats on that piece of gear, and then you're going to get rid of it by enchanting it with something that you think might be better for your build. It's the same thing for all the pieces. Again, you temper, you enchant. So now you get tempering and enchanting. So the next thing you want to do is to add your aspect. And like I said, if you're a Necromancer, I have a build, leveling build, and you can see all the aspects that you want. But for your class, just pick some of the best aspects. But the two aspects that you are looking for to prioritize is going to be the disobedience aspect, which is in the codex. As you can see, I put it right here on my chest piece. And the other one that I put on my amulet is going to be the Juggernaut aspect. For the Juggernaut aspect, all you gotta do is just come to this lady right here if you got some obols, and then you need to focus pants. Pants is the item you have to gamble to try to get the Juggernaut aspect. Or you can get it out in the wild. It's not in the codex. It is something that you have to find. It's RNG. But if you get this, then you can pretty much solve your armor issue, because the cap, I think, is about 9,000. And as you can see on my character right here, I'm already at 8,657 with all the armor you have on the gear. And also, if you add the Juggernaut piece of aspect, then you will be good to go. And you may not even need the Juggernaut aspect if your armor are high enough that you meet the cap requirement. But it is something that you need to consider when you are going to the capstone for World Tier 4. Maybe not World Tier 3, but I would do it for both of them. That way you are as tanky as possible, so you can just tackle this thing. So now once you put all the aspects, now those two aspects, like I said, they are very important. The next thing you're trying to do is just trying to put some more damage or whatever aspects that you think that may be good for your build. You might follow a build guide from Maxwell or some other website, and then whatever aspect they suggest that you use, and those are the aspects that you need to make sure that you put on your gear. And once you get this process done, you get your tempering for damage, your tempering for maximum life, you get your enchantment done for the stats that you don't need, and then you get your aspect done for all the gears that you have. Then you are on your way to greatness. That's how I was able to get to the capstone as early as possible. You could start at level 45 all the way to level 50, but whatever you feel most comfortable with, that's what you gotta do. But I went in at level 48, and by the time I get there to the boss, I was already at level 50, and it was not very hard to do. And then from there, all you gotta do is just keep leveling up, and you're gonna get ancestral gear. Keep leveling up to level 100. By that time, you should have a build in mind that you're gonna use, and you should be good to go. Now, some people might say, well, you know, if you go to World Tier 4 early, you're gonna get destroyed. That is not true. Once you get those things done that I just mentioned, you will be fine. You're gonna get stronger and stronger. You're gonna keep doing the build that you are using, then you are good to go. Anyway, that's all we have. Hopefully this helps you out. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.